Hey everybody, thanks for joining me. So we're going to talk about bleach and testing the bleach right now. So you guys might know from my past videos that I bought a high percentage bleach testing kit. It was about 120 bucks, so it wasn't a cheap deal. So here it is. It is a Lovibond water testing. This is a 147490. And it's for, I believe, let's see if it says here, I believe it's for 2 to 18% sodium hypochlorite. So you'll need, just the regular test strips are not going to work. So you know, my plan was not to work full time. So this is kind of it's not a side gig. I'm kind of semi-retired. Don't get me wrong, if I had a month's worth of work, I would do it, but 3 days a week is plenty for me. And sometimes I'll, to be honest with you, I'll have a week where I don't do anything, and then I'll have a week and a half where I work every single day. But the problem is this tank sitting outside, so it's subject to UV and heat. And so both of those degrade your SH. So I didn't know how fast it degraded either, but I would, fill my tank up and a week later go out on a job, and maybe I'm in my mind shooting straight 12.5%, and it wasn't cleaning, and I'm like, what the heck? So I'm trying everything, and I'm checking my valves and check valves, making sure everything's working, and it just wasn't cleaning. Things that should have been cleaned at 6%, it wasn't getting clean, so I ended up having to turn my water completely off to get things clean. I'm like, well, it's so strange. So anyway, so I suspected personally that my bleach wasn't strong when I bought it, and then I started thinking, well, maybe it's getting weak while I have it. And so I bought this kit. I'll show you what's in it. It's like a science project. So you basically pull straight bleach out, and you dilute it twice, and you put it in this comparator, and you basically adjust this wheel right here, if I can do it, until both colors right here are the same. It takes about 5 minutes to do it, so it's not something you can just do really quickly. But anyway, so here's what I was doing. So if my bleach was setting for a few days, I would test it, and it would test, let's say it tests at 6%. So I know that I have to use twice as much bleach on that job. So I would make my adjustments accordingly, and then, immediately I'd start cleaning. So that's how I was using it in the beginning. Then I started suspecting that my bleach supplier, which is not, I get my bleach at SherwinWilliams. They bring it in for me in 55-gallon drums. It's 12.5%. But I started suspecting, I'd load up a fresh load and go out, and I would put my metering valve where it should be cleaning. It wasn't cleaning, and so I'd turn it up, and I thought it was me or my equipment. I would, in the field, take my check valves apart, my valves, blow things out, and nothing. I'm like, what the heck's going on? So I suspected my bleach wasn't strong when I bought it. So Sherwin-Williams got 4 barrels in for me about 3 weeks ago, 2 to 3 weeks ago. And so I thought, well, I'll check those as soon as they come in. So they called me. I went over and checked. The first barrel was 8.5%. The second barrel was 7%. I didn't even check the other two, and so I wasn't happy. So I'm paying right at $6 a gallon for SH, and so yeah, I'm not happy. If it was still $1 $75, $95, I wouldn't care. But anyway, there's my neighbor. But anyway, so I wasn't happy because now I'm using twice as much bleach to do the same job. So SherwinWilliams called the supplier Harcross in over in Kansas, and they basically told him to go pound sand, and they took my number and called me, and so I called them back, and their sales rep told me that they've never had a problem. They sell jillions of gallons, blah blah blah. And I asked them if they have ever tested their bleach, and they said no, it comes with a certificate. And I said, well, that doesn't mean anything. I said, you know, I'm testing it, and it's weak. And he basically said, well, he did say, you buy such a little amount, and SherwinWilliams buys such a little amount that we really don't care. You know, take it or leave it. And so me and SherwinWilliams wasn't very happy about that, so they got a new supplier from another state, and that stuff's coming in hot. So I know that supplier, and plus my 55-gallon drums were down 4 to 5 inches when I would get them. Now I don't know what that equates to, but the barrels were not even full on every barrel. So anyway, so the barrels that I did end up using, because I needed those barrels, SherwinWilliams did give me a heavy discount on them, and so it more than paid for my kit. But you know, I posted on one of the forums, or a couple of forums, that I bought a kit because I was suspicious that I was buying less than 12.5% bleach. And if I was buying 10%, if I was paying for 12.5 and got 10, I wouldn't care. But when I'm getting 8.5 and 7, I care. So and then people, well, I've got some memes like, oh, you're a crybaby and all that stuff. But I think it's the same as going buying a dozen donuts and you get home and there's 7 in the box. So you think, well, maybe that, you know, I'm not happy about that. I paid for 12, and the next time you go back and you buy 12 donuts and you come home and there's 8.5 in there. So there's a point where you say enough's enough. And so anyway, I can't tell you enough how much this has saved me, knowing how to set up my metering system, and knowing if I'm getting what I'm buying. So anyway, there's my next video, so take it, you know, for what it's worth. Thanks for watching, and please like and subscribe. Take care. Happy washing.